Hey RAKstars, welcome to another Hangout with the RAKstars session. As always, happy to be back with you once again in another Friday over here. In case some one of you are joining for the first time in these community sessions or community event, as you wanted to call it, this is our recurring space held every Friday, where we talk with community members and some members of our team to discuss about the IoT ecosystem, projects related mostly to LoRa and LoRaWAN, experiences, and anything you would like to talk about, as we are open to questions at any time during the live session, since this is just an open space for you all to connect and learn all together. So as well, before going and talking, this is Maria Hernandez over here, developer relation lead at RAK, and with me here, like every Friday, Johan Macias, who will be joining us as our host for this exciting session. Johan, how is it going?
Everything is going great. I still cannot believe this is our second session in the last month of the year.
Yeah.
I remember when I was here showing how I was turning off and off my Christmas tree using the WizBlock the last year. It seems to me like it was just a couple of months ago. But anyway, it's nice to have you here again.
It's actually, now that you mentioned that, it is nice to see that we are today in the second session of the last month of this year, and we're talking about Helium because in that session we also make all this control system of your Christmas assets over Helium as well. So if you want to watch it, you can go check out our Hangout with RAKstars playlist and see the integration that Johan made almost a year back. So yeah, nice to hear that once again.
Yeah. And today we are honored to share with two talented colleagues from the Mintup team. One of them is a brilliant mind that has driven us daily to bet on innovative technologies. Jose Marcelino and Herculano, a passionate entrepreneur and visionary who goes the creation of connected cities through Helium. So, Jose and Herculano, welcome to the stage.
Hey, hello again.
Hey everyone.
Back in RAKstars.
Nice to have you both back over here. We used to hold these sessions in the past with Jose, who was my colleague all the time next with me, having these discussions with Brian Mice as well on weekly basis. And it's nice to have you back as not as a host at this moment, but as a guest, because you have a lot of to share with us today based on all the things that happened to Helium. So I'm super excited about this. And also Herculano that joined us in the past as a guest next to the Sharespot Portugal team, talking about how was the experience in that time about deploying Helium hotspot in order to spread the network in Portugal for that time. So yeah, it's nice to have you both back over here. And before I start, I would like to also highlight that if during this session anyone out there connected have any question, feel free to leave it on the comment section. I'm going to keep an eye on the comment section every time that a question pops up, and in the Q&A session that we have on the end of the session to discuss anything you would like to discuss with these two guests that we have over here. So yeah, without further ado, it's time to start with this great discussion that many people out there it's waiting for. So yeah, can you just to start and break the ice, let's just make some personal questions. Can you share who you are and what are the projects that you are currently working on, and what is your work within the Mintup team? So anyone of you who want to take the mic, feel free to go.
We'll go in alphabetical order. Herculano.
Okay, so I'm Herculano, as Maria presented me. I'm on the Minted team. Most of the RAKstars and Minted customers will know me as a customer support agent specialist, whatever you want to call it, because basically that was my first job in Minted. Was just giving some customer assistance, try to improve hotspots deployments and all of that. And I got all of that knowledge because I was one of the co-founders of Sharespot, which is a platform to basically it's a hosting platform where you can request a free hotspot, and we would just like go to your home here in Portugal, of course, and do the best deployment possible. But right now I'm working with the Minta team as well as marketing consultant to ensure that everything that we publish is accurate in terms all of the stuff related to Helium. So yeah, and that's me. I love IoT. I love the Web3, the Web3 in general. So I've been into crypto since 2013. That was when I bought my first Bitcoin miner. But yeah, right now I'm just focused in Helium miners, and that's me.
Cool. Thank you,
Awesome.
sir.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so about me, so I'm Jose, I'm Marcelino. I've been involved with RAK from the very early days when RAK was starting to do LoRaWAN devices. I've been in several companies, in several startups in the LoRaWAN ecosystem. And then I found Helium a couple of years ago. I was just as I was joining RAK, and kind of became RAK's lead Helium product development person, just by accident almost. But I was really excited by the network, the growth. It was incredible for a LoRaWAN network to grow so quickly, and it solved a lot of IoT problems that people were having, like poor coverage from other types of networks. And it kind of it solves the problem of having devices that are cheap and low cost, low battery consumption as well. So it's an important thing. So I became very involved in that. Also started to learn about crypto and how we can use it for many other purposes. So I'm now working on that area now on Web3 with IoT, which is great.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that introduction about you guys. And like, yeah, it's nice to ever see the path that Herculano have by getting involved in all of these Web3 solutions. Mostly, let's focus on Helium and how he just get, like, let's say, excited with the technology, and with some colleagues, they just decide to create a company in order to help people to do like their businesses with it of it. And as Herculano, there are many people out there who start a new business based on this technology in order to solve problems, in order to improve processes, in order to save resources. So it's pretty nice. And in the side of Jose, like Jose has been in work for like some long time over the IoT ecosystem. And I can say that, like, for me, Jose was one of the top 20 guys in LoRaWAN before Helium start. Like just kind of kidding, but in the community activities, he was pretty active, and we can see all the things that Jose has been driving within the RAK ecosystem to push the Helium technology with our products. It's pretty nice. So thanks, Jose, for all of that. And yeah, it is like an honor to be working with you and having you as well over here. So thanks for sharing that intro. I think Johan have a main question before getting into the recap of the year of the Helium. So yeah, Johan, please go ahead.
Okay, this initial question is not directly related with the Helium community update that we will have today. However, it's mainly connected. How have you experienced the evolution and adoption of the IoT ecosystem within the blockchain and the crypto world?
I mean, it's early days, so we see a few projects now that are getting traction now, but I feel that the stack so far has been very complicated to develop on. That's been the main difficulty. So because you've got to understand about IoT, you got to understand about blockchain and crypto. You need tokenomics. You need a lot of support. But it's good to see projects like Hive Mapper, the Door Miner, and Demo, and many others who are now pioneers in that field. So they are creating the tokenomics, they're creating the infrastructure, and everything else at the same time. And most of them are like open source. So I think the community will be able to feed from all these projects in the future. So yeah, but it's difficult. I understand, very difficult for new projects in this area right now. I admire them a lot.
Completely.
Yeah, but I could add something to that because I understand those new projects are awesome for sure, but we have to remind that Helium, specifically Helium, got the attention of a huge amount of people that knew zero about IoT, including me. I was not. I knew the concept of IoT. I have some smart parking here in my area and all of that, but to see the time frame that we took to grow from one hotspot deployed to 1 million in 2 years,
Years and a half,
it's just mind blowing. You have some other network examples that are trying to grow, and they existed way before, and they are like 20,000 hotspots deployed, and many of those have no maintenance, and they are offline. And on Helium, with all the tokenomics and all of that, we were able to get the attention of a lot of people that knew anything about Helium, and now they are developing new apps, new ideas, because they simply didn't knew, and now they know, and I see an amazing future regarding to this. Yeah.
completely. It is like it's opened the door like for opportunity because it just was a technology that get like probably like the focus of the creators was not just like driving the crypto and blockchain world but also involving the IoT side. However, the first attraction was from the blockchain and crypto community, and now that we see like how all this network grow over in like just 2 years and a half, like we have the opportunity to start deploying solutions, real solutions for different industries such as agriculture, smart cities, smart homes, industry, manufacturing, and many others. So it's the right time to start exploring. And in case you are out there and you become part of this technology just because of the blockchain and crypto war, keep in mind that you have other more opportunity also for tinkering and learn something about IoT, or also to build a business behind it. So yeah, it's pretty nice to hear you on that side. So one of the great attributes of the Helium network is the fact that it's a people power, right? It's a community driven technology. We can say it like that. And a great example of that is that holders of HNT can propose and vote on changes and improvement to the Helium ecosystem, known as the Helium Improvement Proposal, or HAB, or HIPS, as you wanted to call it. So, which is fully aligned with the whole essence of the network, which because we call it the people's network, which is it's pretty nice. Like everything gets together. So far there are an extensive list of HIPs, and we cannot cover them all, of course. Nevertheless, can you share those that have made the most significant impact on the usability and the security of the network?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the main HIPs this year so far have been the apes around the creation of the 5G network and the split between the 5G and IoT networks. And also those hips also create new tokenomics for these new networks, and because HNT will no longer be the single token of the network, we will also see you already have mobile live, and you also have the IoT token live very soon. So those apes were crucial for the network, and they were presented early in the year. But then we also saw a major transformation with HIP 70, which is a massive change on the network, and it solves a lot of the issues people were having with, especially people who want to use the network. There were a lot of problems with how the data flowed on the network, for example. So if you were creating an IoT solution and you wanted to provide some kind of SLA, some service level agreement with your customers, you were going to struggle with that. So HIP 70 came along and made massive changes, not only on the data infrastructure, but also how the whole network runs. So it no longer runs on its own blockchain. It will run on the Solana blockchain and many other changes. But those are great improvements, and it was good to see the community voting for them in such a positive way for the case of the HIP 70. Some people say that, oh yeah, it's just the whales that are voting. That's not true. I mean, the data is there, and it was shown in many ways during the course of the voting that actually the biggest whales didn't vote, and most of the vote was from small accounts. So I think most people understood. There were like a few voices, of course, that didn't like the idea, but it was super important. I don't know if Herculano maybe wanted to add something on the tokenomic side.
Yeah.
For me, the network is to use.
Yeah, I can say something about this. First, I would like to give props to the Helium team for proposing these IPs. Not the Helium team per se, but Nova Labs team, which is a private company that Jose will explain this later, probably this interview. But they were the ones that they are developing this technology.
Hello.
I think he got stuck.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it was not on my
Sorry.
side.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
no
me.
problem.
Sorry. I think I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, you are back. No problem. All good.
Yeah. Okay. So I was giving props to the Nova Labs team because they are proposing these IPs because they are developing the infrastructure, and they were the ones that started this project, so they understand the struggles that they are having. Us as customers understand those struggles as well, because I remember when we were relying on each hotspot to handle the blockchain. So many issues that we had, like port forwardings and some bad internet connections, an hotspot that was not working on the consensus group, and I give props to the Helium team because this change, this IP 70 change, from the tokenomic side, it may look a little bit bad and will get the value of HNT a little bit lower, because we are talking about a lot of HNT that will be unstaked because validators won't be needed anymore. So people get a little afraid because, okay, so many tokens that will come to live again. But they understand the struggle, and they understand that going to a more stable blockchain, and them having to focus only on the network side or on the 5G, on the IoT side, for me, that makes me believe more in the project, because in the end, we want a network that allows me to connect my sensors and never lose the information that I need with the sensors. If someday I have some 5G network here, I need that to work. I don't need only the part of the tokenomics or the HNT, because okay, the price goes up and down, but if you have enough demand in the future, the everyone will be happy because the prices will go higher and all of that. So it's very interesting to see that they are not afraid to do this type of moves, that okay, maybe we are going one step behind in the terms of the price of the token, but we are just making the right move to be able to go forward a lot of more steps. So regarding to the tokenomics of the mobile DAO, the sub DAOs that will appear mobile and the IoT, these sub DAOs will add some things that were being requested. For example, people were getting low amounts of rewards, but since we are swapping to this type of sub DAOs, the amount of tokens on each sub DAO will be defined by the sub DAO. So, for example, for the mobile, I think it's something like 200 billion tokens that will be minted for 10 years or something like that. So people, in terms of visual, they will look, okay, I'm mining some more amount of rewards. Regarding to these tokenomics as well, we will have a treasury of HNT. So supposedly you won't be able to sell your mobile or to sell your IoT. You will have to redeem the HNT based on those mobiles tokens or IoT tokens that you have. And this redemption will be based on the utility of each sub network. So you have the mobile, you have the IoT, you may have the VPN someday, the Wi-Fi, all of that. And that utility score that each sub DAO will have will be calculated based on the demand that network is having. So that demand, you shared the links already, the formulas are there, but basically you have the price of the data credit, you have the amount of data credits that were burned in the blockchain, and that will increase the value of each sub DAO. And so the HNT that will be redeemed in each epoch, I think it's each 30 minutes or something like that, will be based on that utility score of the sub DAO. I hope I didn't go too complex, but yeah, it makes sense, because it makes, even though we will have some sort of competition between sub DAOs, because we on the IoT side, we are kind of in a more difficult work, because the data credit price is super cheap, which is the best thing to use Helium. So that's amazing to be cheap for the customer, but for the utility score, basically we have to have billions, and we will have billions of devices connected on the Helium network. Of course, for the 5G, the data credits are a little bit more expensive, so it's easier to get the utility score in upwards. But in the end, what we want is the HNT value to rise. So okay, it's IoT, it's 5G, it's whatever. The thing that we need is to burn the HNT, to burn those data credits, to get some usage on the network. Yep. Sorry for the long talk about this.
Don't worry, don't worry. That's what we are here to discuss about the things. And like as you share, like it's brave, some kind of doing like a step back, but in order to invest for something. And what is the main reason? And let's say that goal of the Helium network is to create a connected world, right? So at the end, we are expediting the deployment of the network, but we need the usage of it by deploying actual devices in order to get the whole the benefits that we can like earn as we are expected in some way. And also we're also let's say giving something and creating opportunities to build actual solutions. So that is like the big thing over here. Not sure, Jose, if you would like to add something else over here before we jump to the another question.
Yeah, so it's a good idea that, for example, the 5G mapper of Helium, the spot device they're creating. This is the device people will go around with mapping the 5G network. Actually uses the LoRaWAN network, so it's good that it exists there, and that it will increase the usage as well. So, and like Herculano said, yeah, we are expecting millions. I wouldn't say billions, but I would be very happy with millions of devices on the network for sure. And burning the HNT, which creates value again, and everybody wins basically. Yeah, it's good.
Completely. Community driven at the end of all.
Herculano also mentioned the Nova team, and that's because during the first quarter of the year, Helium Inc. was renamed to Nova Labs, but at the same time, the Helium Foundation was born. So, could you share more about this split and its intended mission?
Yeah, maybe I can take that one. So yeah, so Helium, when Helium started, there was Helium and there was the DY kind of foundation, which was the non-profit side. But the DY was not super active at the moment. So and Helium, the company, was doing most of the work, which was very confusing because this creates some problems in what people perceive. Who owns the network? Is it like Helium owns the network? And also, I think there are some legal issues around that as well. So yeah, earlier in the year, the most of the Helium team kind of split into a new company called Nova. And the idea is that they are going to be focused on new developments like the 5G network, for example. The Helium Foundation, however, grew as well. So there's more people there now, and there are a lot more projects. And they are very active, for example, in maintaining the LoRaWAN network, which is what matters most to me right now. So it was an important split for that, and to have this foundation. I think the foundation is much more accessible, like rather than the DY was. So it is, although there are some questions about when if they are listening to everyone, like for example with this Australia recent ban change and stuff like that. I mean, but things are definitely improving in their communication and also how they allow people to participate in the network. And the idea is that anyone can. I mean, all the code is mostly open source, except very small parts of the 5G stack, for example, or the new things. But most of the code is open source. So the idea is that new companies will come in and on the side of Nova also participate in the development of the whole infrastructure. And I believe RAK will be one of those people, for example, in the upcoming chirp stack transition, things like that, and maybe running some oracles in the future as well.
And now that you mentioned also chirp stack, just to keep the people aware about it, and you can stay but until the end of the session, we're going to be having a live demo at the end on how to make the installation, the chirp stack on its connection to the Helium network. So just to let you know all out there.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Various circumstances have evolved within the whole ecosystem this year, causing some uncertainty among some community members, and leading people to consider abandoning Helium's network and things like that. Do you have any advice or words of wisdom for those aware of the vast potential of the network to enable more IoT solutions?
So I will speak regarding to the people that I've been in contact with that are relying on the network, and for example, Sharespot has created a sub company that's called Sensei, and they are developing a lot of solutions using the Helium network. And sometimes we talk about this, and we are relying on hotspots that are on people's homes, right? Okay, right now the rewards are like not the best ones in terms of profits, but it's a device that doesn't consume energy and all of that. So okay, most of the people probably will leave the hotspot online. But what if the people that have those hotspots are actually using the hotspot, for example, with a tracker, with a mapper, with some sensor for the electricity bill or something like that? Um, that will give the intention needed to that people to that person that okay, I need to leave my hotspot online because I'm getting some rewards, but I'm using it as well. And for example, it's one of the companies that is doing that, because right now they are focusing to deploy hotspots in homes or in businesses that may need some IoT solution, and the business didn't know about that. For example, they are exploring chicken farms, vineyards, and so they reach to the person that runs that company and says, okay, I can give you this hotspot for free. You just have to make it online and don't turn it off, and I will give you this sensor and that sensor, and you'll see through this app. You can see the humidity on the soil, you can see the air temperature and all of that, and they get like so amazed. Okay, they didn't know about this technology. So even though we are escalating super fast with Helium, there are a lot of people that still don't know that they can actually use this technology. So that's why I love so much Helium, because it's the project in Web3 that gives so much reality to the people that use it, and it's super user friendly to everyone. The Helium team did a great job with console. It's super easy to use. There is a lot of documentation, a lot of people helping on Discord and all of that. So basically, that's where I want to get. And the other thing is, okay, right now there are 54% hotspots online. That's rough to see. I won't lie, but to be fair, for people that only care about tokens, having some hotspots offline will make them earn a little bit more HNT. So we are starting to reach some sort of equilibrium between the people that, okay, this is mining enough for the price of the token right now. So I don't think that we will see much more hotspots going offline now for now on, because each hotspot that goes offline, it's an hotspot that is not participating on the pie of HNT. So other people will earn more HNT. So we start to see this equilibrium. And in the bull market, when the HNT price rises again, everyone will turn on the hotspots, and this, it's like the markets, it goes up and down. So I think we are fine on that. Of course, this will create FUD, and people that probably didn't get early into Helium and I missed the opportunity to be rich or something like that, will be on Twitter and also on social media saying, okay, the network is going offline, this doesn't work. No, it works. We have an example here in Portugal. We have full coverage, full Helium coverage. We will talk about that later. We had the Helium train that showed that we have coverage from north to south, from south to north. I have a friend that did a road from north to south in her bicycle with a tracker alone, and we were tracking her only through the Helium network. So it works. It will stay. Okay, if you have 500 hotspots in a area and right now you only have 250 online, that's still amazing. LoRaWAN just needs one hotspot in each, let's say, 5 kilometers to have some decent coverage. So yeah, overall it's this.
Awesome. Thanks, Herculano, for sharing that perspective from your side. At the end of all, is that like, what is the main purpose of why we are building this? I think that is like the message that we also need to transmit to everyone. Many people just get here just because they wanted to earn some money, let's call it like that. But when people who are curious, for example, like you, that doesn't know anything at the beginning about IoT, start seeing the vast potential of it and how you can use it in order to create new things and innovative things, all the things change. So that is like what that we need to keep spreading. Like, hey, we have this network available that was built in just 2 years and a half, that we can use it because it's open and decentralized, and it's going to benefit the devices that we're deploying, because it's a network that allows me to create low power devices that can reach long range communication, and having the opportunity to create trackers, for example, as the example that you share, in order to track the location of your car, of your mascot, of your any asset that you want to like to track. And not just that, like parking lots, weather stations, yeah, cameras. And yeah, it is not right now just LoRaWAN and IoT devices, because then if we jump to the 5G, there are other more opportunities that can bring, and we can benefit from this network. So this is here to stay. Let's call it like that. So yeah, thanks for sharing those words. Well, not sure, Jose, if you would like to add something over here.
I think Herculano had it well covered.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, and Herculano was talking about the Helium Train, and that's the reason why we have the following questions will be focused on those community events, and because as a result of the massive engagement of the Helium community members worldwide, some events such as the Helium House were organized to celebrate the growth of the network of people, while also connecting and sharing knowledge with the entire Helium community. Um, some of our team members were also there, and Jose, you have the unique opportunity to be part of the two editions of the Helium House, one in New York and the other one in Austin. Could you share more about that experience and the news from it?
Yeah, so on the Austin one, the first one, that was kind of a first house. I mean, people was mostly sharing what the network was and some IoT projects on it, and also the introduction of the 5G network and what it meant for Helium. Then in the New York one was mostly around the big announcement that Helium will now launch a mobile. So there will be a Helium mobile network in partnership with T-Mobile, which was, huge news, of course. And this will, and it's a great idea because it's a way to quickly get people using the network, because you don't need coverage right away instantly. So Helium is kind of found a way to get to pay for service in areas where they're not yet. And once people start seeing mobile tokens come in, start getting an understanding of the crypto side, it will probably encourage them to join also and add their own cell station to the network, and eventually the network will grow in this way. I think for the 5G is more important to do it in this way, because people really expect their phones to be working all the time, of course. So it was a good way. So the New York one was great. It was a much more polished also event, so a lot more preparation, less COVID problems as well. But it was a good event. And New York, I mean, it was great to see in New York also collaboration from other projects. So there's this new area of projects called the Tippin, which are projects that are incentivized by crypto. So any kind of physical infrastructure project in the world, like Hive Mapper or one of Demo or anything that involves hardware in the real world, it's become part of this Tippin role. And it was good to see New York, also many other companies kind of following Helium's lead into this new area as well. This was great.
Awesome, awesome. Actually, like as Jose shared, like there were some conversations out there, and one of the cool things about all this organizing team behind the event is that these sessions were recorded, so you can just check it out in the Helium YouTube channel. I just shared the links on top of the comment section, so if you want to see all of those chats and presentation that were shared on the Helium House New York as well as in the Helium House in Austin. You can check them out right there in case you want to go further in what was the Helium House some months ago. So thanks, Jose, for sharing that. And along the same line of community events, we can say that November was a pretty active month for these community events. Again, we have the Solana Breakpoint and Helium was there. We have the Helium in the Wild, where many community members were involved in order to support and also being part of this tremendous experience. So, can you also share further highlights of all the new things you observed right there and the activities you got involved during these events?
Yeah, I mean, Solana Breakpoint was amazing. This whole Solana event was incredible. Really, one of the best crypto events in the last years that I've been to. Really big. It was kind of a surprise what happened at the end of it, but it was with the FTX and other issues. But the event itself was massive. There's a lot of builders on the Solana ecosystem, and it was good to see so many of those also participating in like the Helium Train, which we run during Breakpoint. So people who didn't know or didn't know develop on IoT before, that they come from the crypto side or the NFT side as well, which Solana is mostly known for this NFT community. So it was good to see them participating and wanting to learn about Helium now that it's coming to their blockchain. So it was pretty good. The Helium in the Wild project was also great, run by our friend Crystal King. Was an amazing effort to get people out and mapping. Like in London, I saw them, saw the photos. I didn't participate on that one, but it was it was great to see everything they did. I know that Sky, for example, from our side was at the London event as well, and then in France and everywhere. So it's good that to do these events, and it's something that not only Helium is interested in, but for example, the LoRa Alliance themselves are now creating all this sort of LoRaWAN live events. And you'll see more of this next year, starting in Orlando, for example, in March. So there is a big push to get the word out and get people involved in trying, because the network is there, it's accessible, you don't need any special tools, just need a very basic kit, and then you can start creating your solutions. I don't know if Herculano maybe wants to add something.
Yeah, I loved Solana. Even okay, that Tuesday was quite bad, but but it was the Helium Train as well. So I would like to share some photos so you can see what we
Awesome.
were.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'll share some photos. So yeah, exactly. So here is one of the trails of the train. And basically, this is a mapper, and we had a lot of mappers online connected to the Helium network. And as you can see, we left from Lisbon. Here we were like in the middle of the path into Tomar, and basically all of the path was with coverage, all of the mappers all together. All of the people that we had around 60 to 70 people attending,
Incredible.
which was amazing. We had some nice talks. For example, Mage was presenting some of the stuff. Here you can see the mapping that we have already in Portugal, which is mind-blowing. Basically, it was explaining that they were being able to track some packages around Portugal, and without losing any connection. Basically, they have some trackers connected directly to the cars, so the person that is driving that specific car doesn't even know that the tracker is there. Basically, when they turn on the car, the tracker starts emitting. This is very nice for companies that need to track their fleet. Well, actually, I forgot that we could show that photo as well. We had some tracking done by Jose Marcelino in the Solana Breakpoint. It was with the track pack and some trackers. They were able to, but Jose maybe can talk a little bit more about this. They were able to basically monitor all the fleet, and we were able to just open the app. Okay, I have a car here, I can go outside and just go to the other venue, because Solana Breakpoint was in 4 venues, in 4 places that were not very far away, but like 4 or 5 kilometers between, and they had some cars to take us from venue to venue, and we were able to just open the app and see that. That was really amazing. But I think I forgot to show one photo. Let me see, because it was, yeah, I can show this one, sorry. So in this trail, we had like a big table, and people that only knew about Solana. They didn't knew anything about Helium. They joined the train because they heard some, for example, Jose gave a presentation on Solana Breakpoint, and they were interested to know more about this. And basically, from Lisbon to Tomar, we shared some developer kits. Every vendor participated, actually, like almost every vendor, Hack, Seed Studio, and that was amazing to see as well. And basically, we made people that only knew about Solana to start working with Arduino, setting up their first tracker. They were able to see the data flow going on. Like sometimes in the middle of the train ride, we lost the internet connection, like the 5G 4G internet connection, but we still had the network going, the LoRaWAN network going, and they were really amazed about that. And I think that if at least half of these people just keep using this technology, I'm pretty sure that those were amazing people, like brilliant people. They will come with new solutions, with new applications, and this type of things that Helium Foundation made this possible have to occur more oftenly, because 30 people from this train will create for sure some nice application, and that's what we need now. We need more applications, because we are solving the chicken and egg dilemma. So now we have the infrastructure. We have to be fast enough to develop the applications, to get the demand and use the network. Yeah, it was amazing. Solana Breakpoint was amazing. The Helium Train was amazing.
Love it.
I
Love
missed those times.
Well, you can
Yeah.
recover. You can have them back in an upcoming event. That is also a great thing. So it's pretty nice to see like whole the experience. Also see these photos and see how you all get reunited together to be part of this exciting thing. And also you mentioned the trackback team, and like how you're also trying to get involved with them over the event. So Jose, maybe can you share something about like these projects, either trackback or other projects that are going on at this moment, and in some way how Minted or you as a Jose Marcelino as an individual are getting involved on this and IoT solutions that are being deployed in top of the Helium network?
Sure. Yeah, I can introduce. Let me share here. I can just introduce the project that we did with TrackPack at Breakpoint. So this was an app we created, so we had 26 trackers on different vans around the venues. Those big circles on the map are the venues, and people were able to download this app and see where the transportation was it arriving, or because yeah, that was so confusing to have so many venues, and like you didn't know if you were had to wait a long time or not. So it was very useful. Let me also share the video they created showing all the coverage that we had, which was also amazing. So let's see here.
Nice.
So we can see. So this is just how the trackers were being picked up all over so some quite far away, because some of the coverage in Portugal is in towers.
Incredible.
So, I mean, everything was like this. Some of them were like amazing. So coverage was excellent, as we know, in Lisbon and all across Portugal. So
actually, this is something that Neil also shared with us in the previous session that we had with the trackback team. So also, if you want to also like get a little bit more about how they like get started, how this initiative start, and what they are building, and also what are the further plans, and how we're working together in a specific tracker that is being powered by the RAK 3172. You will find all the information right there.
Exactly, yeah. So with TrackPack, we are working on a new tracker with them, a new tracker design, which we hope to apply on bikes. This is a huge market, so once you go into bikes, you quickly ramp up to 20,000, 50,000 units quite quickly. So again, something good for the network, and it uses all the coverage that's available there. And we are working with some other companies who are kind of in the Web3 space. So again, following Helium's lead in that area, but for different areas. So not coverage, but like energy,
Nice.
Environment and other things. So yeah, so we've working on some exciting projects that will come to light next year.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And before jumping to the demo, because I think every time that we discuss about Helium, I think we can stay here for hours and hours chatting. Yeah, it's normal every time I have a Helium related session. So yeah, I'm going to jump with an additional question because it's pretty interesting as an update for the community, and then we can jump to the live demo that Jose prepared for us. So a new type of IoT network actor was proposed just a few months ago, the secure concentrators card, which is similar to a standard LoRaWAN concentrator, but contains an additional secure microcontroller unit and onboard GPS receiver. So what is like the primary technical purpose of adding this, and what is the primary motivation behind this proposed improvement, and how do you see this being accepted and deployed?
So yes, concentrators come from the need from like all the cheating that happens on the network, unfortunately. So and again, something new that came to Helium was the deny list, where a lot of this like cheating hotspots get added, and we saw a huge increase in the number of those added there, because Helium also has been using some tools and techniques to detect them more effectively in larger numbers. But ideally, the dream has always been to kind of have hotspots which are the golden standard for the net, so we know that they are in exactly on the place they are, and with exactly the antenna they list and everything. We know that in many cases that's not true. So secure concentrators is a new development where you can replace the concentrator on your hotspot with the version which signs the messages, so it doesn't just send the message that it picks up as the old one do. And this will enable more reliability on the network again. So it's all about reliability and having knowing that the hotspots that are saying that they are on that region, that they are actually there. Yeah. So we'll see how that develops probably next year. And I'm sure there will be more other tools and techniques also to fight this problem, which is something Helium needs to resolve. Because we don't want those hotspots to get rewarded for just providing cheating, basically.
Exactly. And there is a question that is related to this that I would like to bring at this moment. With the secure concentrator upgrade, we will be able to upgrade the existing hotspots, and what will that look like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, racks are the easiest hotspots to open and replace anything, I think. So yeah, if you have a rack or minted hotspot, I'm sure you can do that when available. Yeah.
Great. Of course. Thanks for sharing that. So yeah, I think like with this we can jump with this live demo that Jose prepared. And before jumping on that, I would like to say that like individuals and companies interested in deploying reliable solutions under the Helium network has expressed a significant concern about the scalability issue for deploying like existing solution in top of the network. And due to this, as we previously discussed, the HIP 70 was arrived. And a similar implementation to the coverage test upgrade was present with a few additional details, with the fundamental objective that is that any LoRaWAN existing servers, such as Sharespot, which is the one that we're going to be using today, can be incorporated in top of the network, and once incorporated, can receive data from the hotspots that are being deployed in top of the Helium network. So for those interested in this is like your lucky day, we can call it like that, since Jose will be sharing a demo on how to implement Sharespot with Helium. So if you have any question during this process, any doubt, feel free to leave your questions, since we are going to be discussing them at the end of the session. So Jose, feel free to go ahead with the demo that you prepared.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Maria. So just to give an intro, so the chirp stack change is related to the HIP 70 change, and so far what's been happening on the network is that hotspots have been sending all the data that they pick up on the LoRa side, they've been sending it to validators. And these validators then check on the blockchain to find out where to what to do with the data. Hotspots also rely on the blockchain itself to pick up where to send received requests, like join requests and device data. So it's quite a big mess right now, because it all relies on like blockchain. And so if you want to add new devices to the network, you have to kind of register it with the blockchain. There is like a step to do that, and it takes some time. You need to buy OUI, which is like something that costs $900. So there's a lot of barriers to deploy devices on the network right now. And also the whole decentralized thing, this having these hotspots deciding where to send data, or the validators. And it's not good for if you want to offer a service to a paying customer, like if you have your sensors and you want something to pay for it, because you'll be relying on like other hotspots having good connectivity and things like that. So what Helium did with HIP 70 was kind of centralizing it a little bit more and bringing the LoRaWAN, just the LoRaWAN, so nothing to do with the payments or how the hotspots actually operate. It's more on the data side. So it's to make it more standard, like with all the LoRaWAN existing infrastructure that has been used in private and public networks all over the world. So this was an important change, and it's good that they are now already having a beta. So this is what I'll be showing today is part of this beta. So it's not available yet to kind of the public. It's just shared by to makers and other people, but it will be open and available to everyone very, very soon. So it's something that you can definitely expect. in the near future, like maybe this month or next month at the latest. So it all kind of works. It's good, and it definitely simplifies adding devices. So I'll be sharing what this means right now. So I'll start with the hotspot side. And for the hotspot, what will happen is we'll be moving to something called the gateway RS. So this is the light hotspot. So right now, what runs on hotspots, on most of them, is a miner, what's called a miner, and the miner has been is partly code from the early days of Helium, done in a language called Erlang, and there's a part done in a more modern language called Rust, which is the gateway RS side. So what ships in hotspots right now is like a mix of these two, and it's something that is not ideal that we have this mix, but it just exists for to keep compatibility with the rest of the existing network. So the first change that will happen is that hotspots will get this gateway RS update, and they will be running this software instead of the existing miner. This gateway RS is much lighter, so it will also enable like cheaper hotspots, for example, hotspots with less memory, or it will enable existing hotspots to have even more room to create new and crazier applications, which we have in mind for next year.
When you say less memory, which can be that like lower space of memory the user can use in top of their RAK hotspots?
So I don't have exact numbers, but we are running it on 100 megabytes of RAM on existing hotspots. So yeah, I mean, it's very light. So it will enable like $150, $100 devices.
Awesome, thanks.
We might even see more like optimized deployments, because it's really a light layer on top of it doesn't need any kind of storage or anything like that. So it's much lighter. So once the data comes in, and I'll maybe I can show what that looks like here. Yeah. So I'll be swapping my screen a little bit. Sorry about that. And I need to find the right window. So I'll share what this gateway RS looks like running on our actual light hotspot, the 7268. This is just a SSH. So it just shows the data that's receiving from my sensor I've got live right now. And everything that it's doing, it's just getting all this data and sending to the new server, which Helium calls the Oracle, their data Oracle. And this data Oracle then is the one that understands what to do with it. So the gateway no longer needs to check any blockchain or anything. It's really dumbed down to this level. It just gets signal from LoRa and sends it to this server. And that's exactly how like the Things network and other public LoRaWAN networks work as well. So there is nothing new here. It's all to do with the stability. Once we get the data from the gateway, then we pass it on to that Oracle. And the way to configure the Oracle, I believe Helium will have some other ideas, but it's here. So yeah, I'll need to check and change this one. So there is, if you look on the Helium GitHub, you will find what they call the Helium config service CLI. And this is the tool that you will use to register your devices. I believe they are working on like a web interface for this as well. And you don't really just get the CLI, but that's how it works right now. And with the CLI, you basically tell this Oracle that your device with a specific device UI, which is how devices in LoRaWAN are usually identified. And you just say, once you get this device UI, just send that data to my own server. And that's where things get really interesting, because that means that you can run. So instead of running the Helium console as it is now, what will happen is you run your own server, LoRaWAN server, and in the beginning, I'm sure there will be more servers supported, but in the beginning, the Sharespot, which is also a great open source server that's been developed for many years, and it supports many features in LoRa. This will be the first one to be supported, and you can see how it looks like, the web interface for it. You also get CLI and so on. But the idea is that you yourself will be running this Sharespot server wherever you want. And you just tell Helium's Oracle to send the data they receive for the devices you register to this server. So you do need like an IP address and like so on, so that you can register it Helium. And the Sharespot is really easy to use. So you basically, there's a lot of stuff to do with tenants and different user setups, but to have the basic thing working, it's simple. You have one tenant and you can create different device types, and from the device types just says what type of device you're dealing with, because like I said, Sharespot supports things like Class C devices. These are devices that are always receiving, and you can send data immediately to them. I think this was covered already in other programs, but it enables things like you can create a LoRaWAN light bulb, and basically when you send the signal, you know that it will receive the signal right away. While in normal Class A LoRaWAN, this light bulb will only receive data from the network when it's sent. So it would have to be sending constantly data to the network, which wasn't a good approach. So in Class C, we see things like public street lights, for example, using it to turn on and off and send status reports like, is the bulb still working okay? Things like that. So it's super popular in those areas. So it's good that Helium is now adopting that. Once you got this device set up, you can then create your LoRaWAN application, the usual stuff. I'll just have this one here, very simple IP70 test, and just have the device as usual. The interface is more basic than like the console right now. The console is quite pretty, and they've got a lot of features. And unfortunately, the change does mean that we go back to this simpler interface. For those who don't know Helium, they might be surprised that Helium has always been kind of a transformative force. So they keep changing things where they see that there is a big benefit in doing so. Like this, when they started, they didn't even support like LoRaWAN, for example. They supported some closed extensions to LoRa. And everyone was like, oh, okay, that's great, but it's going to be very niche. So eventually it was great to see that they adopted the industry standard. And again, they're doing that. So they're basically adopting the industry standard in this case. So in terms of devices, you see here what kind of you can do. There's nothing you cannot do here that you could do on like the console, for example. They're basically the same. They just have a more maybe an uglier interface. don't tell the creator of Sharespot that. But yeah, it's more professional, definitely. More professional look in that sense. So once you got your device here on Sharespot, and you've got your device registered with Helium Oracle through this config service CLI, what happens is the hotspot will pick up the data through that gateway RS. It will send to Helium's Oracle. Helium's Oracle will see, okay, this is traffic for this device, and then it will send the data to your Sharespot instance, and your Sharespot instance just sees that data as coming from a gateway. So it for Sharespot, it sees Helium as kind of just one gateway, a very big gateway, but just one. So there is nothing that you need to do special to make it work with Helium. And this will be the same for all the other LoRaWAN network servers. So the Oracle abstracts the whole network as being a single, and it even uses the same protocol that gateways use, the standard Semtech protocol. So if I go here to gateways, I don't even see a gateway here because it's just accepting data from any gateway. I don't need to register it. So yeah, so that's kind of how the setup looks like. So what I'll do here, I'll go to, this is our light hotspot dashboard, which is a lot more complete than our standard Helium ones. And one of the features we have is this great packet logger, for example. So it shows what's coming into the gateway side. And if I just reset my device here, we should see, so this means there was an uplink right now. So I just reset my device, so I should see exactly the initial OTAA join request. And then we see a OTAA reply assigning an address to the device. So this means the device is now again registered on the network. And it did all this path from gateway RS to, and if you don't believe me, you can have a look here that all the gateway is doing is all the gateway or hotspot, no matter what you call it, it's just sending data to localhost, so internally to the Helium gateway RS instance. So from there, it's going to Oracle. From there, it's going to ChirpStack. And if you go on ChirpStack, you'll see that the device recently requested an address. So if you go here, and you can actually see the LoRaWAN frames, and you can see that there was a join request just 1 minute ago, and the join acceptance. So again, this is great. You get a lot of debug information on ChirpStack, and we'll see some great things. So just to give you a hint, like next week, I'll be working on supporting firmware over-the-air updates through ChirpStack. This is another big feature that it wasn't possible with the whole console, definitely. This enables you to update LoRaWAN devices in the field, which is a very popular request because otherwise you just ship devices, and if you need to change the firmware, you need to go back to them and kind of run something over BLE or some other way to do that. Yeah, I think that's... So this is what's running on now on the beta. You can see that it works. I've had one device here, and it will be deployed to the network very soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Jose, for sharing this. It's pretty nice to see like the whole integration working, and as you see, it's going to be available for everyone pretty soon. Hopefully, this month or the upcoming month. We have like some comment over here from Travis that this is going to pull the Helium network closely to the LoRa specifications, which is pretty like, yeah, it's the right thing over here. And also I think he's referring over here to the dashboard that you share on the hotspot light hotspot, sorry. So this is just available on the light hotspots?
Correct, yeah. For now, it's only on the light, yep.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, let me see if we have some additional question over here regarding the demo. So far, nope. More just conversation within our visitors right here, and just like a nice. I am super excited for this OTA updates, Zipplin and Elmo Fire as well. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Class C and updates, yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah.
As Travis shared, like getting into the the LoRa specification, and having like the full control to actually build a scalable and stable IoT solution in top of this network, taking the benefit of the decentralized network that is deploying around us. Like having the chance to just like getting out of your home and reach another place and tracking that with for a price that is like almost nothing per year is it is not seen in any other technology out there. So it's pretty nice. Thank you so much, Jose, for preparing this demo.
No problem.
And yeah, before concluded over here, um Johan, I don't know if you would like to add something.
Maybe for those who are just starting to know about the Helium network, the IoT ecosystem, I don't know if some of you guys have any particular resources or recurrent events that you would recommend to someone starting from zero with Helium.
I wouldn't say about events right now, but if you want to start to use Helium, you can just join our Discord at the RAKstars, and we have a lot of people there helping. Of course, you have the official Discord as well, official Helium Discord. Um, yeah, but if you actually want some tips to start using Helium right now, I think it's the best time because we are still in the beginning of the change, and uh, actually this change we didn't talk in this session, but it will bring a lot of potential to the Helium ecosystem as a whole. If you are like into DeFi, into something like NFTs and all of that, w- it will eventually help this transition because, for example, right now I can talk again about the hosting platform that Sharespot has, for example. It's quite hard to do this all the splitting. We had to develop whole centralized application with a database that may get broken for some reason, and that's the point of Web3 and Web2 and all of that. That Web3 will avoid this, and having this in Solana will help you, like for example, share a hotspot with someone in the future for sure. There will appear some application for reward splitting and all of that. So right now it's the best time to just go in, ask your questions. If you are a company that want a safe a safe product for running some LoRaWAN applications, it's cheap, it's safe, you have coverage all around the world right now. If you are someone that want to join the crypto world and don't know anything and don't want to buy like a miner that costs $5,000 to mine Bitcoin, and then your electricity bill goes up in the roof. But you want to start using crypto and start to mining some passive income, you can just get an hotspot and start using it. So this is for people that want utility, people for that want to get some passive income. I think it's the best time just to getting along and see how all of these will change, and yeah, the future will be great for sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Awesome.
you for sharing that.
Thanks, Herculano. And just like as a closing question that I always bring over this session, because yeah, all of you have something different to share with our community. Any message that you would like to share with our community of entrepreneurs, makers, and engineers out there?
You?
Just
No?
yeah, I can share it. If I start speaking, I will be
And it's
30
a
minutes
short
more.
message from Herculano and from Jose.
Yeah. So
Very
my
short.
message is keep building, keep building. Forget about gains and all of that. Just create something useful, create something nice, and eventually people will notice that what you are developing is nice, and you will have a lot of success, and you will be rich sometime.
We reach sometime. Yeah. I mean, the message is very similar. Yeah. Thanks, Herculano. It's all about building, and this is the time to build now that like all the crypto is down and like people talk a lot about building. And I mean, after this period goes away and we go back to normal markets, I'm sure that all the best projects will be picked up, and you get this huge opportunity now. There's a big network out there. You get, if you were early on it, you get a lot of exposure as well. So if you're late, like you'll be diluted by like thousands of little projects. But now it's really the time to get going and join this amazing community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. This was a breakthrough recap of what 2022 was for Helium. We learned about like the improvement proposal meets, how some of them has been implemented, the excellent result that we have had in these community events. I saw Grizzle Green in top of the chats. So thanks, Grizzle King, for all your support in preparing this event, and also for making us part of it with our mappers. Also, the creation of some IoT projects in top of the network, such as the trackback, and also how to get started with implementing chirp stack in top of the networks. Definitely a session of plenty of learning. Once again, I say it so much, but big thanks, Herculano and Jose, for being part of this, and also looking forward to having more exciting sessions like this with you in the near future. Well, so yeah, also thanks for all of those who join us today, who leave your message on the chat, say hi, ask some questions. If you guys have enjoyed this session as much as we have, we appreciate if you can leave some love in top of the session by liking this video and also subscribing to the RAK YouTube channel, so you can keep an eye every time that we have a new session in case you are not already subscribed. And also feel free to share this session with anyone that you find this Helium community update will be helpful for them. So yeah, see you all next week, and thanks for joining us today.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. See you next week.